The House of Representatives just dropped a major bomb on Donald Trump, but there's a big twist. Why does there always have to be a twist with these people? It's worse than M. Night Shyamalan. Google that joke if you don't get it. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. The chaos of Epstein Gate continues, with Donald Trump taking some bizarre steps, quite literally, to try and distract from the growing frustration with his obfuscating. That includes doing an impromptu press conference while strolling on the roof of the White House this morning. Seriously. See our other videos for more on that. But the tide is turning against the taco. This morning, CNN anchor Gretchen Carlson, who is a veteran of the Trumpgasm land called Fox News, mind you, issued a stark warning to Trump as he continues to eye a pardon for Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Among Republicans of what's going to happen here?
Well, I certainly think that there's some stonewalling going on. I mean, Gretchen was absolutely right. Donald Trump, at the snap of his fingers, could get these files released, and we wouldn't have to go through all of this. And we're waiting on, all these moves being made to get grand jury testimony that's going to deliver us just a sliver of a tiny bit of information related to this, all of these files. We need to move ahead with this. There are so many questions now, and to me, it appears that there's a cover-up going on.
Yeah, that's very concerning to me as well, because I think when Congress is in recess right now, maybe we're waiting for another shoe to drop with regard to what President Trump might do with this. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There will be an insurrection if he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell. And it won't just be coming from the left. It'll be coming from the middle of America, the independents. It'll be coming from Republicans, and it'll be coming from MAGA. So I do not advise President Trump to be considering that. And by the way, with regard to subpoenaing Maxwell as well, I don't know what we're going to get from that, to be quite honest. I'm not sure that's paying tribute to the victims, because she has lied under oath twice. She's been convicted of perjury. She knows the only person who can save her at this point is President Trump.
Carlson, of course, is not alone in her criticism. See our other videos here on the channel for more. Carlson's warning also comes at the same time as three other CNN reporters, Paula Reed, Elena Treen, and Kristen Holmes, reveal that the Justice Department has a full recording of Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's interview with Maxwell from last week. The DOJ is currently considering releasing a transcript of the interview, albeit one heavily redacted and edited at the behest of President Taco. First of all, what is Trump so scared of? And second, just remember Richard Nixon tried the same thing during Watergate, and it backfired. Miserably. So go right ahead, Donald. Moving on. The possible release of the Maxwell interview transcript also comes as the House Oversight Committee appears panicked as Trump himself. You'll recall that last week, House Speaker Mike Tiny Johnson actually adjourned Congress to block a House floor vote to release the Epstein files. Yes, he shut down part of the government, which makes me wonder what he's hiding in this mess. And now the House Oversight Committee is subpoenaing the Epstein files as well as testimony. But there is a major catch.
We are learning some new information this morning on the latest on the back and forth over the files related to Jeffrey Epstein. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer has issued a slew of deposition subpoenas from multiple people, including the Department of Justice, former President Bill Clinton, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. CBS News Justice reporter Jake Rosen is following this for us from Washington. Jake, the big question now is what comes next here?
Well, that's right. That is the big question, and it comes as the House is adjourned right now down the street from us here in D.C., Mugo, because there would have been a floor-wide vote to potentially force the unsealing and public release of the Department of Justice's Epstein files. Speaker Mike Johnson did not want that, so they took a break for this part of the summer. The pressure has not stopped, and this is actually a semi-bipartisan resolution and statement from Chairman Comer, who has promised to get more information out of the the Department of Justice and people who were involved in these Jeffrey Epstein investigations throughout administrations. There are former Trump officials here. Think about Bill Barr, Jeff Sessions. There are people from the Obama era, Robert Mueller, Merrick Garland, who obviously was the Attorney General under President Biden, Eric Holder, some names who really are from a different generation of politics maybe than what we're living in now, but all whose Department of Justice or law enforcement organizations oversaw multiple investigations into Jeffrey Epstein. They want to sit down with these people, ask questions, and potentially get new answers out of them if there are any to be found. But the most interesting thing is the bipartisan resolution here, Mugo, to force the Department of Justice to release files from the multiple investigations, and in addition to that, a resolution to make sure that victims are protected, and also to force the release of any communications between the Biden Department of Justice and the FBI and White House about the Epstein files during President Biden's administration, obviously between 2020 and 2024.
That's right. In their latest desperate attempt to avoid talking about what in the Epstein files has Donald Trump and his allies like Tiny Johnson so terrified, the House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed people who have nothing to do with the Epstein case. It's a complete distraction, and from the look of the list, a lot of this will focus on 9/11, the Iraq War, and, you guessed it, the 2016 and 2020 elections. Trump's allies will continue to kiss the boss's pockmarked posterior by trying to make it look like Hillary Clinton colluded with the Russians to undermine her own campaign and frame Donald Trump, or that the 2020 election was rigged. It's a bait and switch. It's like getting promised a brand new, top-of-the-line smartphone and having your carrier send you a 1990s bag phone that only plays really old ringtones. It's not enjoyable or nostalgic. And like a bait-and-switch grift, it's going to backfire on the congressional GOP. Their latest mucking about with gerrymandering, again, see our other videos, shows how desperate and cowardly they've become. They can't win on issues, so they have to rig the game. And now they know the Epstein scandal could destroy their all-Trump, all-the-time party if the real details come out. Well, bring it on, I say. The American people smell desperation here and will not stop until the real files come out, and until the world knows the real truth about Donald Trump. This is Occupy Democrats. All right.